Okay, now we're all working. I shot a video earlier, went in to check it because it's some kind of error, and it turns out my SD memory card or whatever, I had flipped the switch or bumped it where it was, it tried to record, but it was in one of those modes. So, here we got two chassis, and I'm going to show you how they configured it from the shipper just down the street. It's like right there. And I'm going to show you what they had me do and what they did and how much more stuff I'm going to add to it, because I'm not totally satisfied with what's going on. I'm trying to keep this out of the wind too. So to put this up to where it would meet and clear, because I got all this other stuff and they're trying to get these long motorhome, custom motorhome chassis fitted, is they had to put blocking down on that side and then double block the tires and get the right height. When he did add this piece, he started coming down on the steering box and it started to look like it was going to touch, so we added some rubber here. So we had to watch every single angle. You don't want to have anything where it's going to rub a tire. You know, these are good Michelin X Series tires, and this from the factory at Freightliner. So that's what these, where these chassis are made. These are custom. So what I looked at was everything's nice and neutral there, and I really did like that. I mean, they did the chain placement and they pop right up there. They do these all day long, so they knew where to put everything. And then they come down on the axle also, and it's just barely getting by over here, and all the extra is laying in the bed. Now, I do have it tied around over there. These boxes I had set back there a little ways with a couple straps over them, and they're just flimsy. Inside are lines, but also in the other boxes, one of the other drivers, they said there's instrument clusters in there. I said, are you kidding? I said, well, we're going to have to do something a little different. I didn't like it anyways, but it did get me, like, what is it, half mile or so from the shipper over here. And I looked at it and I thought, you know, there's got to be a better way. So I looked at this and I just made a decision that I'm going to come around, I'm going to put my tarp over it, I'm going to come around this with a 2-inch strap, because I could actually take and move this, one of these boxes underneath the 3-inch strap, and I could actually pull it out of the groove. So they're cardboard, they're treated cardboard, it appears, but they're still not going to take heavy storms. So if it got into, like it was just a deluge of water, it's going to get in there. So this guy is going to tarp it. Even though it's just a little crappy smoke tarp, it still is sealed enough to where I can lay it in there, cover everything, drape it correctly, and tie it up with a 2-inch strap all the way around it. It's going to take a little bit of work, but I'm not going to pull out a 100-pound tarp that is, you know, 24 feet long to go over something that's 6 foot. It just doesn't work. If I had to, I would, but I've got other available material. They took one of my 3/8 chains, and I can see way up there, and they lifted the axle up and they tied it down with one lever binder. I didn't really like the idea that they took one of my 3/8. I wanted them to use a 5/16, but it was too late. By the time I got back over and turned around behind me, they already had it all done. But I wanted to leave any 3/8 for extra work. Now, I do have 4 more of the old red binders. I've already used 8 of my good yellow binders. And this is with a lot of these people working on this side, and then me matching what they did on the other side. So they know where all the chain down points are, and some of them are fairly tight. This one is not too bad, but on the other side it's a lot worse, trying to feed everything in. So it's sitting on oak blocks. So I like it, but I want extra stuff on there. It's just me. I don't have the comfortable, warm, fuzzy feeling just yet. Everything is tight as a drum. These guys were reefing down these binders like crazy. So when you look at the way these guys on the lower section are nice and stable, they're on the frame, and they've got them, you know, to where they're pulling neutral. They're pulling both ways. And everything is good to go there. So we're going to try and get, I don't know if I'm going to try and put any more chains up here, but if I do, it's probably going to be right up in there and straight down to here as best I can. And I have a blank spot, so you know, I might be able to get the right angle to come down here and avoid the tire. I have to look at that one. So I'm going to shoot the before video so you can see what the heck I'm dealing with. I've already accepted the load. I got bills of lading. Of course, I'm on just at a truck stop just down the street. But I've got several days to make it, and it's only 680 miles. So I am going to take my time. So just like right up to the rear. And you can see all the engine and the whole works. It's right out here for everyone to see. Pretty cool. Now, these X Series Michelin's, I run those on my steers. I love the X Series tires. And that's all that I'll have on my truck. That's it. Now, everything seems to be just fine. People are backing in and doing whatever and let them do. But as you can see, it's an easy shot right up to here to drop down in here somewhere. Now we're doing double binder, single chain. Now these guys were doing this at the factory, and I didn't have to tell them anything. This is how they do it every day. So this is the old chain grab that I've been doing for years. And the weight is not there. I mean, even if they get discounted for some flipping reason, there's only one way to do all this, you know. And sure, they want to see your chain split in half and all that, so it's a single unit. But to tell you the truth, I'm not seeing any problems with that. I'm just not. So I'm going to bring my chain. Now you can see the angle. If I go to that point right there, you can look right over there. That's just dead on the money. Come right over to this pocket. And that should just neutral it out. That's what I want. Is I want neutral on this. Is a lot of weight, and yes, they pulled them down so hard that they were flattening out the steer tires, and I like that. But I want to make sure that I've just got a little bit more. There's a lot of weight here to swing around. I had to dig my tarp out underneath, and I just slipped that out. But I just want to do it before, and then we'll come along behind here in a little while. I don't know if it's going to be an hour or 2 hours. I don't really care. And I'll decide what extra I'm going to put on, and we'll take a look at it as it's finished. I hope you enjoy this one, because this one is a bit precarious, as you can see. And then you can look at the other end. That steering box is like right there. And I was trying to get them to move it, but you really don't have a lot of, you know, configuration that they could have done differently, except they would have had to take this thing back off and unsecure this and then move the front end over. That's the only way. But it really wouldn't have made a ton of difference, because there's still more business on the other side over there. But that's the stem. I mean, it's, when you look at everything right down the side and you look over there, they're over an inch or two. And I was trying to pay attention and throw chains and bring equipment, and my first time loading it, so I deal with the consequences if I didn't catch it. It's on me, 100%. So my whole deal is I want to get this thing to the other end safely and securely as possible. I've got to go through some roads that have a lot of turns and twists. I know I'm going to be up 24, then I-40, and I'm just going to try and take my time. I'm not going to get in any kind of hurry whatsoever, and this sucker is going to be stable, or I'll make it stable. I've got more lever binders, and I've got at least I think 6 more chains that I could use if need be, but they're not ratchet. I just every time you turn around, you think you got enough equipment, or it's just right. Then all of a sudden you need a bunch more. It's like just the way it is. So we shall see you in part 2. I'm having trouble with the camera, so I think it's the card. So I'm working on it, guys. Now we'll get back to where I was trying to shoot a video on this additional chains and stuff, and this is what I got. I added extras right up front here. It was a crucial point, and this is the ones I was talking to you about. I added one more chain and a double binder, pulling neutral on the other one over there. The next one that I added was right where I said I was going to, and it's tight as hell. Tried to get it to come down here, but then you've got this business right here. Can't be coming into it. It slipped, and it wanted to go right into it, and I thought no. So I repositioned it, and I used the chain pot here. So I've got the same thing on the other side. Mostly what I wanted to do was get this lined up to where all this whole point, this control on this section was really where it needed to be. It was just too much business going on, too much weight, sitting on blocks, you know, and I know it's going to be reasonably stable now. So let's go back here and look at what I did. And I moved the 2 straps, and I moved all the boxes and everything from back there forward. Now what's holding everything together is I run a 2-inch strap around through the frame, and then I pulled everything up to it and together, and that's why I did that. So, you know, in this, I just got a couple of bungees on it. But the one thing I want to show you guys is how to do this. If you have to do anything like this, what you can do is run the buckle on itself. You just slip it inside and hook it on itself. That way you're not worried about trying to tie anything in a knot or whatever. This is the best way to do it. So what this does is it keeps everything locked in as a tight package, and it's covered. So it's covered from wind. The rain, maybe not so much. You know, there'll probably be a little bit get in there, but you know, it isn't treated cardboard. So that's the best we can do there. I think it's a lot better of a situation than it was before. And I haven't done anything to anything back here yet, but I'm considering it. But the whole thing is there's not a lot of places to put stuff. I would have to pad the frame, and I don't have a lot of chains left, and putting straps on there might be alright, but the thing is they're not going to have the rigid holding power of a chain, and they would just put downward pressure on everything to kind of keep it a little bit stable. So that's the best I think I can do right now. We'll see how it goes. If I do make any changes, I'll shoot another portion of the video. If not, I'm going to leave it just exactly as it is. You can see it's right at the front. Everything is good to go. And I had to slip the tarp out from underneath. I got everything tight back up because it was underneath these other larger tarps. So that's what I did. I feel a lot better now because this point right here was not covered. I mean, it was just it needed more, something else. If I had more 3/8 chains, I'd probably find more places to put them, but I'm out. I've got some 5/16, but you know, they're not going to have the holding power of the other ones. So, but I feel pretty good with it. I don't think we're going to have any problems with anything moving. I see where they've got their chain on this side, but they also put that chain over there, so everything should be all right. I will keep a good eye on it, and I'm not going to be that quick on this load. It's on a 680 mile or something like that, but I'm going to be taking my time. I've got a lot of interstate to travel, but it's some of it's windy on I-40, so to the Carolinas, North Carolina, and we'll be going up to Knoxville and catching 75, 74, and then loop around Indianapolis and then straight north from there. So that's where we're going, northern Indiana. See you on the road.